Oh, yeah. Yes. Yes. All right. I am live. You're getting me live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. It is Friday night. I cannot tell you how much I'm looking forward to doing this show, just talking football. I've been looking forward all week to just talking football. But today you are in for a treat. I got a guest. I have got Big Chief Shawn in the house. Shawn,
Hey,
what is up, brother?
what is going on, brother?
Hey, man.
Great to be here, man. This has been a long time in the making, and I'm just happy to be a part of this, man.
Me and Shawn actually met a couple years ago. It was a guy trying to promote his Facebook page. I follow those guys, but I don't even know if that Facebook page is in existence anymore, to be perfectly
I think
honest.
they're still doing their thing. It's they're going, how it usually would go on Facebook. So.
I had to unfollow a lot of different fanboy channels in regards to the Chiefs, but I think I still follow them. But I follow both those guys still on Facebook, and they're good people. And I should have had you on a long time ago, so I can't tell you how excited I am to finally get you here to talk some football. And I got Funk in the house. He's here. Man, I'm glad you're here, Funk. I know the Detroit preseason games going on. I'm actually excited to watch that. And thank you, by the way, for putting some of those comments in specifically about your rookie linebacker getting the starting job. I was shocked to hear that. So thank you, Funk, for letting me know. I'm going to start this off here, Shawn, because I want to get your opinion. I do my show every week, and I've said this many times now. I'm a little biased because me and Drew Lock went to the same high school. He went to Lee Summit, same as me, slightly different years. So I'm a little biased when it comes to Drew Lock. But I got to ask you, what do you think about the Bridgewater Lock quarterback competition and Bridgewater getting the starting job?
Well, here's the thing. Bridgewater doesn't have that great of a set. But he does listen and he does follow the plan. Drew is still young, and if they haven't started him, he still has some developmental issues. It's not he's a bad player. He just needs to evolve in the way that they want him to be. And right now, Teddy Bridgewater is a guy that can follow the plan. Obviously, watching him in the Saints, he's not Drew Brees, obviously, but he can follow the plan. He won them, 5 straight games?
Yeah, he's 5-0 with the Saints.
He can follow game plan. He does what he's told, and he can get mobile when he needs to be. Drew Lock is still a developmental phase. I feel what you're saying, though, about them picking him over Bridgewater. I would put my rookie in and get him started now, but some people, especially in the Broncos franchise, are very cautious.
No, well, what it is that George Patton, the new general manager, he was part of the Vikings organization that drafted Bridgewater in the first round. But let me ask you this, though. Which quarterback gives the Broncos the best chance to win this year?
My opinion, it will probably more like, to me, Drew. Only because Bridgewater's had so many starting opportunities. And when it comes to a very important game, he just doesn't come through, man. I mean, he's proved it time and time again. When the game is not important, he'll do his best. He'll overexcel. He'll do amazingly good work. But as of right now, if you want to try to get your franchise off the ground, sorry for the darkness, get your franchise off the ground, I would definitely go with Drew Lock. I mean, that's just my opinion, though.
No, I agree with you. I think with Drew Lock, you got a guy who's got a much more upside and much more arm talent. Now, my boy Funk, he chimed in that Teddy looked good in preseason and he earned the start. I think that today or in preseason, maybe Bridgewater can look better, but he doesn't offer the same upside. I think with Lock, you get somebody who's got much more upside. A lot more athletic potential, is able to push the ball downfield. I mean, look at the weapons that you got. You got You got Jerry Jeudy. You got KJ Hamler. You got Noah Fant. You get the big arm in Locke, and I think that you just let them grow. That's my opinion, but Funk says that Teddy's looked good in preseason and earned the start. By the way, I love the man cave there. Lots of Chief stuff. So, and Mike wants to know who let the dogs out. Welcome, Mike, man. Glad you're here, brother. Jameis Winston looked great. By the way, I predicted that correctly. I knew Jameis Winston was going to start with the Saints. That was kind of a no-brainer, and I think he's actually going to look good. But let me ask you this here, Shawn, because I think me and you are both on the same page here. We thought that Locke offers more upside and probably is the better overall quarterback. But are the Denver Broncos a threat to the Kansas City Chiefs in 2021?
Obvious. The answer is obviously no. And I'm not saying that because I'm a super Chiefs fan and all that kind of stuff. I'm saying it because let's say, for example, they wanted Rodgers. Like Rodgers, it was a rumor Rodgers was trying to go to the Denver Broncos, right?
Yeah.
Did he really look at the team, or did he just really look at Mahomes for competition twice a year? What defense do they have? What offense do they have set up? Did you see their draft? Their draft was horrendous. Like, they're last in the league in defense, almost last in the league in offense. They're not ready yet. It's just, it takes time. When they used that $100+ million to get Peyton Manning, to get him that Super Bowl, get him the notoriety, they did not think about the consequences of the future. And that hurt them really bad. And right now, they can barely afford anybody. They're going to eventually lose their best linebacker. They have Chubb, but only reason why he's still there is because he's a rookie. Their team is not set up for success. And obviously, that's the reason why they can't beat us.
Yeah, let me ask you this here. Now, I've offered it on my show here, and me and you. Let's just state the obvious: the Chiefs are the best team in the AFC West,
which is true.
Break down 2, 3, and 4 for me in the AFC West.
2, 3, and 4. Obviously, the 2 is the Chargers.
Okay, all right.
Are the best in line to really get it done. Their quarterback is solid. Their defense is solid. They upgraded their defense. Their offensive line needs work, but yet it can hold its own. The last time we played the Chargers, it was a barely win.
Yeah, we won in overtime and then we lost in the regular season. But I don't know if you caught this or not, but in that last game at Arrowhead, the last regular season game, did you see I played 12 snaps at left tackle? That's a fact. I was actually I blocked for Henny. I don't know if you saw that. Yeah, I played 12 snaps.
It was a beautiful block. I was kind of blocked too well for them. You should.
I did a good job out there, man. I didn't embarrass myself. But all right, so you got the Chargers at 2. That's kind of interesting. Who's number 3?
It's the Raiders.
Okay.
The Raiders. And I say this, try to say this with the utmost respect.
Mm-hmm.
The Raiders have the financial capital, but they just don't have the leadership. You spent $100 million on Gruden, and they've already regretted it 4 years in a row. 4 out of the 10. Think about that. That's huge. And their owner really doesn't care. He's more on stacking the seats, not stacking the wins. And unfortunately, Gruden is so old school minded that he feels his style shouldn't be questioned. But you haven't won the division. You've been swept in almost every division game you've played. And it's like they're not getting it. The reason why they're number 3 is because they're stacked on talent. They have to, like, what was that 2 years ago where they had 4 first-round draft picks?
Yeah. They had 2 years ago, they had 3 first-round picks. They whiffed. And I'm still laughing at it. Clyde Farrell, the number 4, I was laughing when they chose him, but the other 2 picks, Abram and Josh Jacobs, those are good. Well, Abram missed his rookie season, but he looks like he's in good shape. and that was another thing that didn't make a damn sense about the Raiders draft is you got Abram, you re-signed the guy from Cleveland. Oh, great.
Yeah.
I'm less than 10 minutes into the show, and I already drew a brain freeze on names here. Is it Carl Joseph, the kid from Cleveland, the former Raider safety? Is that his name, Carl Joseph? I believe it is.
I think it is.
Yeah. So you go ahead, you got Carl Joseph that you signed on a 1-year deal. You have Jonathan Abram. You still got I'm drawing another blank on the name, the safety from Dallas, that the captain, not a superstar. And then what do you do in the draft? You draft 3 more safeties. Now, one of them they're going to ask to play linebacker, which I sort of kind of get. And the Moeg kid, the kid from TCU, I get that was good value in the second round. But why do you sign a safety when you already got 3, and then you draft 3 more? When you really needed help on that defensive line, that's where you really needed help on.
And that's what I mean about the leadership issue. It's clearly they're not paying attention of what they truly need. For instance, obviously everybody knows about the Mac trade. Was not smart. You should have built the defense around him, not try to get a way to help yourself, and it didn't help. And Mac is still doing numbers in Chicago. When you have something, you have to know what you have and then build around that. That is why we are all Mahomes in Kansas City. We got him. We're not getting rid of him, so build around him. It's ridiculous how the Raiders get so many opportunities and they do not use them because of leadership issues.
Well, and then you got Denver finishing in the cellar this year.
Unfortunately, yeah.
Okay. Are any one of the AFC West opponents or any one of these guys going to be in the playoffs?
Well, because of the 17-week season now, the Chargers have a good chance of sneaking up in that wild card. Okay. I would never underrate. They almost made it last year. They did. I mean, it was a lot of competition in the AFC, so they couldn't make it. But underestimating them would be silly, very silly. Okay. They are built to try to be better, with Ingram and that entire defense. And the quarterback game is just what hits me. They don't have the elite quarterback like Mahomes. No, they don't. But they got a guy that will win the game. They got a guy that will drive a good 2-minute drill, get it down to the end zone, and let their running game do its work.
You're talking about the Chargers?
Yes.
See, me and you completely disagree. I think the Chargers are going to finish last in the division. I think Anthony Lynn firing was a big mistake, and you bring in a first-time head coach with no coaching experience. The guy's been in the NFL for only 5 years, and you got Andy Reid, who's entering, I think it's year 29, Gruden year 22. Yeah. And Vic Fangio, I mean, he's been in the NFL for a total of 39 years, of course, being the oldest NFL head coach. You get a guy with almost no experience, problems with the offensive line. That's another thing that really scares me about the Chargers. I thought with Locke, Denver had a chance to be the second team, but I would have to say it's the Raiders because the Raiders have some skill position talent.
They do.
I don't see the defense. And then with Denver, I like the defense. I'm just not sure. The offense seems like it's stuck in second gear. I think they got the wrong offensive coordinator. I got Denver Gator who just joined in. He's asking if it's safe to join in. Yes, Denver Gator, it is safe to come in. But my boy Big Chief Shawn says you're finishing dead last. So I'm just like, no.
That's nobody's fault. Y'all team is just not ready yet. The defense is that you're depending on Chubb. He's going to be one man, and help me out. Other side linebacker.
You got Von Miller who's coming back. Hopefully he comes back at near 100%. But I mean he's 32
from 5 years ago.
No, you're not looking at the same guy. You brought in a lot of secondary help, and I also like Simmons, and then you also got Surtain in the draft. Now, my boy Funk here is turning into a big Chiefs fan, but he's a fan of the Vegas team.
Chiefs are number 2.
Yeah, he's having some fun here. He's not. He knows that the Raiders are going to come out with 6 safeties week 1, and
right. And it's going to be a run play.
But I have to admit, I think we're a little different on 2 through 4. But the one thing I think me and you definitely agree upon is that it's nobody's. I don't think any team in the AFC West except for Kansas City is really going to make the playoffs this year. Me and you got the order flipped around. I think Denver or the Raiders have a chance to sneak in the wild card. You think the Chargers might do it? I question the new coaching staff, and I don't like a young quarterback without a running back and weakness in the offensive line. That's kind of how I'm looking at it. Funk's letting Gator know it's safe-ish. And Funk is very happy they got rid of Lynn. Funk is part of my Detroit crew. I got lots of love from the Detroit Lions. Some really, really first-class fans who got some. They ended up with John Dorsey and Anthony Lynn. I think I've been saying this to.
You think the Lions got like GM John Dorsey?
Yeah, they got. He's the number 2 guy in Detroit. Lions,
if you got John Dorsey, tell Dorsey to not waste the checkbook. Man who dealt for Dorsey for years. He likes throwing money at the wrong things. Tell him to wait before he pays people.
By the way, in case I didn't say it, because I am jacked up. By the way, I am over 59% sure I am not on cocaine. I got an energy drink and I got coffee. I am extremely jacked up, but I am not on drugs. In case I haven't said less, look at the description, folks. Look in the description. I put a link to Big Chief Shawn's YouTube channel. You definitely need to check it out. He goes and shows you firsthand Arrowhead experience. I've been a Chief season ticket holder since 1989. Me and my dad aren't going out this year. We're letting my sister take her husband and have, they're going to have the family outing of going. Me and my dad are going to go ahead and not go this year. So I'm going to be paying extra attention because I kind of miss that Arrowhead experience. You check it out firsthand on Big Chief Shawn's YouTube channel.
Thank you so much, man. What I do for my YouTube channel, it just showcases the best, to me, I'm obviously biased, the best tailgating experience you could possibly have.
It is the best.
I've met people from France, Germany, London, Britain that just drive thousands of miles and take hours and hours of flights, days just to come here for a couple of hours. And they are always with the same look on their face. Oh my God, this place is amazing. Mm-hmm. What is this place? Why doesn't people talk about this place more? And that's where I come in, because I just seeing that place. It literally is a whole nother world.
It's just it's so awesome, and I think me and you can just go on for hours about the sea of red.
Yeah.
I've always had, well, not always, but I've had some really good luck with opposing fans. Last time I was there, I sat right next to a couple of Denver fans that drove from Colorado, and they said that Arrowhead was on their bucket list. That was just a bucket list. They were awesome fans. They were cheering for their Broncos, but they also knew that, hey, we're here to take an L.
Yeah.
We're taking an L, but, we want to at least look good. And they were awesome. They were really awesome.
They are. Yeah. And that's the thing. We're not that fan base that we know we have a good team and all that kind of stuff. But when you're tailgating, it's really not about opposing team. Obviously it is, but the opposing team stuff, we kind of leave it inside the stadium. When you're outside the stadium, we just want you to really sit back, have a good rib, enjoy a beer, and call you a friend, because that's what it's about. It's just about,
it's a great time.
Not worrying about your political views or whatever other views you have. All that stuff is at the door, because for the next 3 to 4 or 5, if you get there early enough, hours, we're here to party. We're here to have fun. We're here to make friends, and we're here to watch football.
A prime time game, especially, okay, for me personally, a Monday night game at Arrowhead, there's nothing like it. Nothing. I mean, it's like a fog of barbecue smoke. I was at the game. I actually, it was actually my yelling that got the 142.2.
Oh yeah,
that was that extra 0.2. So I consider that my record.
That was, we were at 140 at 140.7, and then there was this magical voice that came out of and somehow we made it to 42, and I was like, oh, whoever that guy is,
that was me, man. We could probably go on and on about great Arrowhead experiences. Like I said, I've had season tickets since '89. The Marty years were fantastic. The Vermeil years, there were some really good games in there. But with Andy Reid, it's just the last 3 years going to 3 consecutive AFC championship games has just been awesome. But I kind of want to shift gears here, and I want to talk about a subject that's kind of a bad subject in a way. Is that recently the Seattle Seahawks gave Jamal Adams, I believe the number is a 4-year, $70 million deal. I want to say almost 40 of it's guaranteed. I'm maybe a little off on the numbers. Here's why it affects the Kansas City Chiefs is that the Honey Badger is going to be a free agent. The Honey Badger is one of my favorite players on the Chiefs roster. And with this contract and with the Honey Badger being a free agent, I'm going to ask you, is it even possible for the Chiefs to re-sign the Honey Badger next year?
I would say it is, because unfortunately in football, you really only have 2 options. You're either going for the glory or the money. And holy crap, hold on, let me I'm trying to hurry up and log on to my computer because I'm losing power on my phone.
Oh, okay. I got you. I don't know. As soon as you get connected, I can add you on.
Okay. Sorry, everyone.
Hey, you know what? This is a good opportunity. My boy Tim, me and Tim know each other for a very long time. He has a great question. He says, looking forward to all the great Chiefs insight tonight. He's a huge fan of NFL linebacker history. How do you think Nick Bolton, for those of you who don't know, Tim's also a big MU fan. So Nick Bolton was our 2nd round pick out of MU, and Willie Gay do this year. He says, I have high hopes and think they ball out. Hey, Shawn, if you are up and running, I'll let you do this one first.
Okay. Looking forward to all the great shit. I'm a huge fan. Do I think Bolton and Gay? Yes, I think they will. I mean, because one thing that we've had a problem with is speed. And both these guys literally offer that. They offer the speed and the intelligence that it takes to be able to be better. And I think because of the youth and the determination that they have, I think they're going to have great seasons. Yes, 100%.
Now, as far as I know, and I know week 1 in preseason because Hitchens was sick, so Bolton got the start. But I thought originally Gay was going to be starter alongside Hitchens. I'm not 100% sure that's still the case, but I believe week 1 the starter will be Gay and Hitchens. And Gay is a guy who, if you don't know his story, only started 9 games at Mississippi State, even though he was a 5-star player, and then just lit up the combine. I think at over 240 pounds, he had over a 40-inch vertical, ran like a 4.42, just went nuts. There's maybe 10 linebackers that have better metrics than Willie Gay, but he wasn't able to do the production in college. I'm not sure how it's going to transition to the Chiefs this year. And with Bolton, I know he is going to contribute to special teams this year. and I know that he's going to contribute, but I'm not sure how much he's going to be part of the starting offense.
You guys hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I see on my screen, it shows that you have another device. It's just not connected. But as soon as that connects, I can buzz it right in. But to answer your question, Tim, I think to be perfectly honest, the linebacking core, even though they're both athletes, I'm not 100% sure that it's a question mark. It's definitely a question mark. And a guy like Hitchens, we signed the big time deal coming over from Dallas. He's been just average. He's just an average guy. So that's kind of what we're looking at. Funk says the linebacker thing has me watching Dallas. They got 5 inside guys that should all play, and one of them might get cut. Absolutely, that's actually a really good point, Funk. Is that they're going to let go of Van Der Esch sooner or later. So I'm actually thinking he's going to be on the chop block, or the trade. Okay, and Shawn is disconnected now, so I'm gonna answer these questions. And then Shawn will come back here in a little bit. What it is that he joined driving, in case you couldn't notice. Now he's just trying to connect with his computer. So he should be back soon. But you're absolutely right, Funk. I actually think that this is not a situation where one's going to get cut. I think somebody should trade for Van Der Esch because you're not going to have an opportunity to get a linebacker of that quality. I think Jalen Smith, they want Parsons, and then Cox. Your boy Cox is looking really, really good. So there's a chance that one or two of these guys might get traded to another team. I thought that was smart of what the Patriots did with the Rams and trading Sony Michel. So, all right. So let's see here. Shawn, are you back, brother?
I'm back.
All right. So Shawn's back here. So now we got Shawn on the computer. So at least I think it's a computer.
Yeah, it is. It is.
All right. So we got you, man. And then Funk, yeah, their core is awesome. Should be really tough. And that's kind of an interesting thing with the Dallas Cowboys. I'll be honest, I've only seen episode 1 of Hard Knocks. I haven't seen the other ones. Denver and Shawn is he was back. Are you back now, Shawn?
Yeah, I'm back. It's trying to get this camera to act right.
Okay.
So you can see me. But my audio is good. I'm still here, brother. Still ready to.
Denver Gator puts in love tailgating. To me, that's what it's all about. Connection of good food, fans, and fun. I've tailgated in Tampa, Buffalo, Jacksonville, New Orleans, Miami, and a ton of college games, Arrowhead and Las Vegas on the bucket list. I can tell you, Denver Gator. By the way, Denver Gator, me and Shawn communicate mostly on Twitter, so definitely follow Big Chief Shawn on Twitter.
Thank you.
When you come out to Arrowhead, you got somebody who can kind of show you the ropes.
Denver Gator, if you are out that way, brother, let me know. Like he said, we talk to each other on Twitter. So just hit me up on Twitter. Let me know you're going to be out there. I'll do an episode. And it sounds like fun to me,
Yeah, you definitely do want to. And then I'm with you, Denver Gator. Vegas is on my bucket list as well. So, that's something that I'm actually looking forward to doing. I've actually seen a lot of pictures of the Raiders Stadium. It actually does look pretty cool. And I think Shawn's going to be Shawn's having some technical difficulties here. But Funk puts in, I was hoping my squad would trade for either Van Der Esch or Jalen Smith. I'm not sure who they really want to keep. I told you were 100% right about Cox. And to be honest with you, I think they want to keep Jalen Smith. And keep in mind, I haven't watched all of the Hard Knocks episodes, and I haven't watched a ton of the Dallas Cowboys, but I believe that they really like Jalen Smith. They want Micah Parsons to replace Van Der Esch. And then this year they got Keanu O'Neal, who played safety for Dan Quinn in Atlanta. He's going to take over at the weak outside linebacker position. if Cox can push Neal enough, Neal may be on the trading block. I think Van Der Esch is on the trading block. I think Cox could actually be on the trading block as well, depending on what you're wanting to give up. But yeah, actually, to tell you the truth, I actually think that would be a smart move for the Detroit Lions to go ahead and try to get either one of these guys. So,
all right, okay, I'm good now.
You're good now. All right, so all right, so we still can't see you, but we can hear you good.
Yeah,
and then, Denver Gator, I've heard nothing but good things about Mile High, but I've never been to Mile High, not even.
I actually used to live in Denver a long time ago, and it was still in Vesco back in those days. But I've been to Mile High. It's a nice place. I mean, I've had some bad memories because I literally lived out there from 97 to 99.
Oh, no.
So, yeah, dude. So when you're walking around a Chiefs jersey and people are pointing at you, it's like, you know John Elway exists, and I'm like, I don't care.
You know what? I'm gonna say this. I've said this before, and I'll say it again. The best move the Chiefs did was convince Denver that they were interested in Paxton Lynch. I 100% believe there was no way in hell the Chiefs wanted Paxton Lynch.
No.
But they brought him into Arrowhead twice. They worked him out. And what happened was we tricked Denver into thinking this was a franchise quarterback. And they have not been the same since. So it's sabotage there. Tim actually has a great question here. I'm going to let you handle this one, Big Chief Shawn. Will the 4 running backs be Williams, McKinnon, CEH, and Thompson? I love Thompson at Utah State. Of course, I love those College West teams, LOL. Hey, man, what do you think? Are all 4 going to make the team?
Unfortunately, no, because right now, I mean, we'll probably keep all 4 of them. One will probably be in practice squad type stuff. But I don't think we'll have more than the 3 starters, just simply how our offense works. We're an air raid offense, and though the run game is important and our offensive line is beefed, it's not the biggest priority. We're going to see Hilaire kill it. The way he runs, the gap of yardage he gets, the contact, all that. It's going to be so much that I just don't see us having 4 tight end or 4 running backs. And we're really on focusing getting Kelsey help, because if you really think about it, who's backing Kelsey right now?
No, that's something that was actually an interesting battle. I didn't even know about that Fortsum kid. I didn't even know about him. They drafted Gray from Duke, which I think could end up being nice. And you really do need a number 2 tight end. Which one of these guys doesn't make the team?
That is the $1 million question. All of them have a good quality. Obviously, Hilaire is our starter.
Yeah.
And Thompson has flared. But if I have to be honest, it's more likely going to end up McKinnon. I don't want it to be him, but when you look at the 4 options that we have, 3 out of the 4 options have been battle tested in situations that we've needed them to be battle tested. McKinnon is still that guy that really nobody has depended on anything. That's why he really hasn't had any drives, any snaps. But the other 3, they have been battle tested time and time, especially Thompson. Darwin has, with his ability just to ram people, go forward, not thinking straight. And obviously, you don't want all your running backs to have the same style of running. Thompson brings the strength. Hilaire brings the agility and the movement. And Williams, he brings the speed. So when you think about all that, McKinnon is just the last man out. Not because he's not good. It's basically if you were able to buy 4, you were in a Bentley shop and he only told you to buy 3. Yeah, there are a lot of good Bentleys out there, but if you can only take 3, you can only take 3.
I was almost thinking almost just the opposite. I was thinking that you may want to have an experienced running back who can do a little bit of everything, like McKinnon, and because CEH entering year number 2. He's the number 1 guy.
Yeah.
I'm almost thinking you may want to go ahead and keep the experienced veteran who's been around the NFL for a while, and McKinnon, and get rid of one, either Williams or Thompson. Out of those two, I would say you want to keep Thompson, who to me just every time I watch him, he's a flash play. Yeah, he flash play. I actually thought there was a good chance he may get a lot more action this year. He's just a guy, every time he plays, he just flashes. And Tim, I know, man, that Mountain West is just a ton of fun to watch. It's one of the secret pleasures of college football. Mike chimes in 2 huge spreads for preseason this week, an 8.5 and 9.5. Actually, I don't even know which one of those. Mike, not next week, but the week after that, I'm going to have all my action. I'm going to have several videos. Not this coming up week, but next week. So stay tuned. I'm going to have a lot of stuff for you. Oh man, what's up? I got Luke G in the house.
G in the house,
man. Luke, I almost got in trouble at work listening to your show. By the way, Big Chief Shawn, Luke was nice enough to let me come on his show twice.
Nice.
Awesome Detroit Lions show. So if you haven't already, please subscribe to Luke G Field Review.
I'm definitely going to.
You're not going to get here. One thing I'll tell you about Luke, you're not going to get somebody who's like, he'll give you the straight talk. You're not going to log into Luke G show and you're not going to hear the Lions going 15-2 this year. You're not going to hear that. He's giving you the firsthand stuff.
I would always prefer the opinion of a real fan than somebody who can easily just throw on a jersey and say,
you get somebody who knows what he's talking about, breaks down some film work, has some really, really great stuff. Huge fan. I'm very excited about Luke G being in the chat. So, man, Luke, thanks, brother. I really appreciate it. And then the Homeland. What is up, brother? The Homeland is here. Man, it is great to see you. Homeland, you have to let me know. Shoot me a message about the Cam Newton situation because, I'm wondering if he's not playing.
Because I'm still hearing that they're having quarterback is they don't know if they're going to start him or the rookie. What is that about?
I'm thinking. You know what? I was convinced it was going to be Cam. I know. I was thinking it was going to be Cam, but if he's not there, Mac Jones looks good.
Mac Jones does look good. He looks good.
I want to know. Homeland, hit me up. Let me know.
Homeland, let him know, man.
Let me know. Music City guy's in the house. What's up, brother, man? Music City guy.
Everybody's here. Love it.
Video earlier in the week, man. Let me know what you think. I want to know your opinion. And then let's see here, Funks. Hey, Luke, that All right, that Mike Ford hype train chugging along. I stopped watching the game in a second and see how many running backs we're going to carry. I have to admit, Funk, I haven't had a chance to watch some of the Lions preseason. I do want to see week 3 because I do want to see that myself here. Tailgate in Baton Rouge is, you know what? That's actually Music City guy. That's one of the things I've never been to New Orleans. That's on my bucket list. I do want to check out New Orleans, man.
Music City guy, Big Chief Shawn going down there to tailgate New Orleans. Think about it.
Hey man, Music City guy, you got his information, man. You need to get in touch with him, man. But I'm down. Actually, Shawn, last year when the Chiefs went down to kick the Saints' ass late in the season, why didn't we go down and check it out ourselves? So
yeah, that'd have been a nice thing to see. That'd have been beautiful.
Yeah, it would have. That's on my bucket list here. So Denver Gator says, "Damn, we got an all-star lineup in the chat. Big Chief and Luke G in the house. This is way more educational fun than any national media." You're 100% correct, and unlike the national media, I'm going to tell you something. Not this week. Next week, I'm releasing my picks. Because unlike most channels that just talk, I'm going to put my money where my mouth is. I'm going to come out with some videos next week.
And you can make a lot of money.
I'm putting my money down. I'm gonna have some videos next. I have some really great stuff. Not this week. The following week, I'm gonna have some great stuff. I'm keeping it under wraps. So I got something really special planned. In about 9 days. I got something really special planned.
Awesome.
Secret. Yeah, but Luke G. I got the Homeland. I got Big Chief Shawn. Yeah, you're going to get a lot of really good stuff out of this channel, Denver Gator, man. And it's a good situation, a huge misunderstanding, and Mac cooked the Giants. That's actually something I
see. That's not helping Cam at all.
No,
Mac,
I wouldn't expect that. I wouldn't expect that. I was convinced Cam's going to start for at least the first couple months.
Yeah. I figured with his experience and knowing how Belichick likes to run things a certain way, I kind of figured he was just going to go, hey, let the experienced guy do it, and we'll worry about Mac later. But the way Mac Jones is playing, I don't think Belichick is going to ignore it for too much longer.
I don't think listen, if Cam can't play, Belichick has no problem putting a guy in there that knows the offense. So, I mean,
yeah.
Hey, Funk, I got the Lions and the Chiefs game on DVR. By the way, I'm not associated with YouTube TV. They're not paying me, but the YouTube DVR is phenomenal. It's unlimited length. I got something like 50 games. I got the NFL Top 100 saved. I haven't. The only episode of Top 100 I haven't seen is the Final 10 yet, and I haven't looked yet.
And if you didn't know, I don't know if you want to be spoiled.
No. Hey, spoil us here.
As from what I've shown right now, they've already kind of revealed the top 10, which is Mahomes, not in any particular order. Just is in the top 10 as of now.
We all know Mahomes is there.
Mahomes, obviously, Rodgers, Donald, Devontae Adams,
Aaron. Okay, we got Aaron Donald, Adams, Mahomes, Rodgers.
Brady, not Brady.
No, I think Brady's in the top 10.
I think
Brady's in the top 10.
I think he's 14, actually, if I'm not mistaken.
14? Okay. All
right. I think he got 14. I'm trying to. DeAndre, wide receiver from the Cardinals.
Yeah. We got Hopkins is in there.
Oh God! I literally just looked at the top 10.
I'm just curious because last year, now of course being a Chiefs fan, I'm a little biased, but last year when Mahomes was number 4, I was really surprised. He wasn't higher than 4, which is hard to believe. I'm complaining about somebody being number 4, but yeah. Hey, Funk, I am going to check out the Lions game, and Mike is saying Mac Jones is the real deal. I think, you know what, today, as of right now, Mike, and keep in mind we got a couple weeks, but as of right now, I think Mac Jones is going to start week 1 against Miami. I really do. I think Mac Jones is going to be the starter, and we'll talk next week about how that's going to affect the line, because I know the Patriots were a 2.5-point favorite at home, but because Mac Jones, if you're going to start a rookie week 1, it's much better start him at home. And I think if it was on the road, you may want to roll out Cam, but being that's at Foxborough, I think Mac Jones is going to start week 1. I think he's going to start.
I mean, that is a very good assumption. I mean, the way he's been playing, the youth, the way he's so determined out on the field, I mean, there is a great possibility.
I'm thinking, I really think he's going to 34-40 against the starters. Mac might take it. Keep me informed, Homeland, but I as of today, I think Mac Jones is going to be the starter. Now we got a very serious, sombering thing going on here, Shawn, is that Denver Gator brings up kind of a sad subject here, that OnlyFans is taking away nudity unless it's artistic, and he wants a refund. So yes, Denver Gator. Hey, by the way, Denver Gator,
Okay.
I fooled you because guess what? OnlyFans is still allowing nudity.
They're still allowing
it. So you don't get the refund. You still get all the great content on my OnlyFans. So let you know right now, subscribe to my OnlyFans. It's great content. Full nude.
Okay.
Full nude.
Dan. I just found it. Okay, are you ready? Here are the top 10 players left on the list. Are you ready?
All right, let's do it. Let's do it.
J.J. Watt, Aaron Rodgers, Mahomes, Kelsey, DeAndre Hopkins, Devontae Adams, Josh Allen, Tom Brady, Aaron Donald, and Travis Henry. Those are the last 10 guys that are left on the list.
All right.
In no particular order, obviously, we won't know who's in what order. But
no, we don't know. If I was going to guess, I would say T.J. Watt would probably be 10. And then I'm going to say Hopkins. I don't know. That's a tough. I'm going to say T.J. Watt would be 9, and then. But last year, I thought Mahomes was going to be 1 or 2.
4 again. Obviously.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting. Denver Gator says Dan After Dark. No, Music City guy. They changed it. My OnlyFans is full on nude. It's going to be great. So make sure you pay that subscription.
Are you telling me there's a way to see Dan butt naked?
Oh, hell yeah. My OnlyFans is in full effect. I just lost like 9 viewers, but I said that.
No, they just went to OnlyFans to look for you. That's what happened. They were like, what? Dan, let me get off this stream and go find it now.
Check out my OnlyFans now.
Okay.
Hey, you know what? We've been talking about the Patriots. Let me ask you this here, Big Chief Shawn. The Kansas City Chiefs have been to 3 straight AFC championship games.
2 straight Super Bowls.
2 straight Super Bowls. They've won 2 straight AFC championship games.
Mm-hmm.
Now, who is your number 1 team out of the AFC that challenge Kansas City or to overtake Kansas City?
That's a very good question.
And
the honest answer, I mean, it's the Bills.
Yes.
They are a built team to fight us. They have the solid quarterback game. That defense, don't even get me started with that cornerback game that they have. The run game is elite. If any team was able to take us out, it will be them. I want to say the Browns, because if you really look at their stuff on paper, it is pretty darn good. They got Nick Chubb. They have our former running back. Baker Mayfield is still getting better. That's kind of one of the things hindering them. But they just grabbed J.J. Watt. I mean, that defense alone, it's very scary. But the offense isn't strong enough to carry what the defense will be able to do for them. But right now, the only team that I see taking us out, it's the Bills. 100%.
All right. And let me ask you, okay, so you got the Bills as your number 1 threat. Who would be your number 2 threat? Are you saying Cleveland?
It could be Cleveland. I would not underestimate Cleveland. If Baker Mayfield gets over himself, that team is a force to reckon with. They still have Landry. OBJ's growing up. He figured out that a year without him, they were almost Super Bowl bound. So he's not going to blow that opportunity again. I guarantee it. The tight end game is still solid. If their quarterback gets over himself, they could be a force.
They're definitely.
Myles Garrett,
if you're playing Madden, I would want to be the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah.
If you're playing Madden, you'd want to be the Cleveland Browns.
You sure would.
So is the Cleveland Browns your number 2 threat behind?
Yes, I'm gonna confirm that. Yeah, it's Cleveland because Baker, subpar quarterback aside, they have that run game and Hunt and Chubb. Those boys do work. Did you see that playoff game when we played them? They damn near ran over us.
It was not a good game. I will say this though. I am very, very much looking forward to a week 1.
Oh yes,
coming to town. And okay, so I got 1 and 2. Number 3 would be a dark horse. Give me a dark horse team in AFC. Give me a team that not too many people are talking about that you're worried about.
The Titans.
Titans.
Nobody's talking about them.
You are right.
Simply because they think Vrabel is an idiot. Vrabel is not an idiot. The problem is that defense just needs to get a little bit more solid. Henry is prone to run 2,000 yards on anybody. He can run on anyone, even us. Even when we stopped them in the playoff game, blah, blah, blah. The Titans always are so undervaluedly looked, but somehow, if you notice, ever since Vrabel has been their coach, they have been playoff bound again and again and again. They took out the Ravens. They took out the Patriots. They can play. They can play solid football. And that's the problem. It's their quarterback game is shameful. I don't know why they didn't go to the draft and get themselves a brand new leading star. And their defense can be challenged. But if you're looking for like a dark horse, it's the Titans.
All right. Me and you completely agree with Buffalo being the number 2 team in the AFC. I thought that they in the draft they got 2 defensive ends. I thought they should have gone after the defensive tackle position. Mm-hmm. And that's one thing I think that they really messed up on. But I know what they're doing. They want to go with the NASCAR package because what they did is that they're mimicking Kansas City. They're going to go ahead and throw the ball a lot. They're going to have lots of passing yards. Josh Allen can run the ball. And then when they get a lead, instead of, struggling to rush the passer, which they did last year, they're going to go ahead and just go with their 3 defensive ends that they got plus their 2 rookies. And I expect to see a lot of NASCAR package. I think they made a mistake because Kansas City in the regular season ran for over 250 yards against Buffalo. And Kansas City's not a running team. Andy Reid's number 1 thing isn't to run the football, but we ran all over Buffalo. So I thought they should have won.
Hilaire was that game, though. Hilaire was amazing. It was raining, too, but still Hilaire was just amazing.
The offensive line was healthy, and with the offensive line we have this year, which is more suited to run the ball, I think Kansas City really matches up very good against Buffalo. I think Buffalo should have went defensive tackle in the draft. That's just my opinion. My number 2 team in the AFC is the Baltimore Ravens. I think that they have a really good secondary, and I had J.K. Dobbins ranked over CEH. I thought Kansas City should have took J.K. Dobbins. I think he's going to have a monster year for the Ravens.
Well, the only reason why I disagree with you about the Ravens, number 1, coaching. Harbaugh really doesn't focus on what matters most. Number 2 is the Lamar. He is going to kill their running game because they're so dependent on him having one. They, in my opinion, should make him stop running, stick in that pocket, and really prove what he's worth.
Well, remember, they got Sammy Watkins from Kansas City, which I thought was a good move. And then they also drafted Rashawn Bateman out of Minnesota, that was a player I really liked. Now, fortunately, when we play Baltimore in week 2, Bateman's not going to be available. But if he can play up to his potential they did in college, and of course, me and you both know Sammy Watkins is going to miss 6 to 8 weeks. But
that's the only problem with Sammy. When he first got him, I told everybody, all my friends, I was like, Sammy is amazing when he's at 100%.
When he's at 100, yeah, and I kept on telling people that he was the Chiefs' number 1 receiver and Tyreek Hill was number 2, and I eventually lost that.
But the problem is he's never 100%. You're always going to get 70 to 80, high 80% of Sammy. You're never going to get the Sammy of the Rams. Now, if he has Ram Sammy, like young, vibrant, he wouldn't have even left the team. He's with the Ravens to try to prove that he can still play, but he keeps forgetting the quarterback that he has. If you look at the Ravens' numbers and their wide receiver numbers, they're not great because Lamar has not proven that he can be the passing quarterback that they need.
No, that's one big weakness about his game, but I do like that the Ravens went out of their way to get two bigger bodied wide receivers.
Oh yeah, so he doesn't have to throw such big horrendous play. He can throw a nice little slant or nice little downfield little hit, and they can do the rest. Because we've seen like Sammy in the Super Bowl, just give him a little dot. He can break a tackle. He can stiff arm a guy. That's his thing. That is his thing, and he's good at it.
I'm telling you also right now, watch out for J.K. Dobbins. If you're a fantasy football fan, I think he's going to have a monster year. Yeah, he was a guy I was really high on at Ohio State. I thought the Ravens got a good deal. And then I'm going to give you my dark horse is actually the Miami Dolphins.
Wow.
They got some good corners. If Waddle can stay healthy and play, I also like Jalen Phillips. But they're a dark horse. But they're a team that they got some really good corners, and Jalen Phillips, if he can be the pass rusher that people thought that he could, I mean, there's a lot of red flags with Jalen Phillips. The retiring, the concussion issue, but last year he was the number one pass rusher in the draft. So,
so you were a Tua so you were a Fitzpatrick or you a Tua Lova fan?
Well, see, with Tua. The question is with Tua, is he had problems staying healthy in college.
Yeah, he did.
He wasn't healthy last year. I thought Miami really shot themselves in the foot trying to start him. Look at what Kansas City did with Mahomes. They sat him for the whole year.
Yeah. Smart. So many people, because of how great Mahomes is now, are so ready to say, thank you, they set him out. He could have still won for us. You do not know that. Number one. Number two, always having the opportunity to sit out and learn will always be better than just throwing somebody in there.
I've always believed that, and I think that now I understand in Jacksonville and in New York you got to start those rookies.
Well,
San Francisco is going to make a big mistake, and I think they're going to start Trey Lance after the bye, which is I think week 6.
I just don't think that's a good idea.
I think they're going to do it, and I've talked about this many times. San Francisco is my number one team to bet on and bet the under because they're slated to win 10.5 games. They're not going to win 11 games. They're not a double-digit win team, and they're going to go with a rookie quarterback. Now, with Cam Newton being injured, it makes sense to start Mac Jones, but that's kind of a different situation completely. And Funk puts in, don't worry, Funk's still going to do his Funk freaky foot and food fetish show. So don't forget to subscribe to Funk's OnlyFans. Dustin is in the house. Freaking Sam Darnold is bawling, nervous at first, but settled when he found out his team is an ass.
Well, when you're not playing for the Jets, you really have confidence. I'm sorry. Like, the Jets are just one of those teams. You've seen The Longest Yard, right?
Oh yeah.
And what did Cruz tell the warden? What should we do? We should have a crap game. Just get a really crappy team and just give you a hell of confidence. And that's another reason why I don't feel strong about the Raiders, because they could barely beat the Jets. You can't tell me in the offseason they fixed that.
Hey, Dustin, just a shout out to you, man. It's damn good to see you, man. I know you haven't been here in a while, man. So,
Dustin,
hey, he's very excited about his Panthers, and you should be.
You should be. Minshew is an amazing quarterback. I think they're going to do great. The Panthers are going to do great. They still have a good, solid defense. So I think they're going to do good.
All right, and I apologize, guys. I got behind on my comments here. Dustin reports that Darnold has 2 touches for touchdowns, and Terrence Marshall Jr. is going to be a freaking star. I didn't know if you knew this or not, Big Chief Shawn, but Terrence Marshall is Joe Delaney's grandnephew.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, a little flashback from the past. I actually wanted the Chiefs to draft Terrence Marshall before we traded for Orlando Brown in the first round. And you're right, Dustin. Your receiving core is pretty good. You got you re-signed Robbie Anderson, smart move.
That was smart.
I don't know if you're planning on not keeping DJ Moore around, but I mean he had 1,000 yards for you last year, so your 3 receivers are looking really good. You're looking really good here. Denver Gator says, Dan won't admit it to another Chiefs fans, but he wears nothing but the old barrel, man barrel, and yells, incomplete. Trying to. Hey, listen, for $39.99 a month, you get to see me in just the barrel. So join the OnlyFans. Music City Guy says, in my opinion, the team has the best chance to take out the Chiefs is the last AFC team to take them out.
Who? What team?
Let's see. Who was the last team to take them out? If I am correct, it was the Tennessee Titans. Oh, no. You know, the last team was actually the Patriots. The last team was the Patriots. But are you referring to the Titans, Music City Guy, or are you referring to the Patriots? Let me know.
It was the Ghostbusters. Yeah, exactly. That's what I was saying about Carolina. That defense is solid, so they could do some good work. By
the way, you know what? You know, we didn't actually debate this or not, but I'm telling people right now. And by the way, I should save this because I'm going to release my Cleveland Browns breakdown this weekend. But the Browns are a team I think is going to surprise people by being on the decline. And the reason why is that anytime you have a team that's a perennial loser, and then they have a big jump in wins, they always come back down. Take a look at the Kansas City Chiefs. They went from 2 wins in 2012. They went to 11 with Andy Reid's first year in 2013. 2014, they dropped down to 9. All teams that have big spikes in wins come back down the next year. The Browns I'm warning people, if you get an inside preview, the Browns look great on Madden. But I think when it comes down, I think they're going to disappoint a lot of people. And don't be surprised if the Chiefs blow them out week 1.
I want to say that confidently. I want to say that we're going to blow them out. Just because I feel really good about that.
I feel really good about that week 1 matchup.
The Chiefs are no match for the Bucks. Whoa. Slow down.
I should have warned you, Big Chief Shawn. Mike is in Florida, and he's a big fan. Look. You know what, Mike? I give you lots of credit. You bet on the Buccaneers, and you were right.
I'll give you that. But they are a match for the better. Actually, I would say better than the Bucks. They kept everybody. Congratulations. You got these old guys for a whole another season. The literally only reason why we lost that game is because we had no offensive line. You know that, right? I mean, there was no possible.
Fired, Mike.
We stopped the Bucks on 4th and 1 in the goal line. Are you kidding me, man? Like, I get what you're saying, though. They are the champs. You have to respect Brady, even though that's grossly to know that he has. We shouldn't allow him to have ring number 7. It's no.
Hey, listen. There's still Chiefs fans that are bitter about that. You know what, man? I haven't seen Stripes in a long ass time. Now I want to watch Stripes. I haven't seen that in a long time, man.
That is a great movie.
Now I want to watch it, man.
It makes me miss Harold Ramis.
Yeah, now I want to watch that, man. Just a Cinderella story. Caddyshack.
Caddyshack is genius.
Are we going to go on an old 80s movie rant? You know? Big Chief Shawn, I should have warned you. Some of these guys, we get nuts. We go all over the place.
Hey, that's fine with me. I love Caddyshack. As long as we can sit back, watch Caddyshack, and then watch some real genius.
It's in the hole. We watch it.
I love it when he talks about meeting the Dalai Lama. Like, what? I love that movie. Or like when he pulls up to the golf course and he's like, Ty, put that steering wheel back where it belongs and you get that thing out of here. Like, what?
Dustin brings up a pretty good point. I'm just glad Darnold is an ass. I was feeling pretty bad. We passed on Jones for a while. Hey, you know what? I'm still worried about J.C. Horn over Patrick Surtain. Hopefully that works out for you. But it looks like as of right now, Dustin, your draft class looks awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, I
Darnold needed this. Darnold needed this.
Look at this. His coworker is tailgating at Arrowhead tonight.
Where did he tailgate? I probably met him because I literally was recording tonight, so I might have met him.
You may be on a check. By the way, Dustin, since I don't know if you joined in late or not, but I got the Big Chief Shawn's YouTube channel link in the description. Make sure you subscribe that.
Watch the episode. Hopefully your buddy is in it.
Hey, Funk, you come down to Arrowhead, you let us know, man. You let us know, man.
Yeah, dude.
It'll be fun, man. It'll be a good time. And by the way, this Big Chief Shawn, we're turning Funk, who was a Lions Raiders fan. He's now converted to being a Chiefs fan.
Smart man.
The best part of the game is in the local breweries. I have to admit, KC has some damn good beer. Kansas City's got some good beer and some good barbecue, man. Definitely both.
That is the main reason why the tailgate is so humid, because there's so much beer, so much barbecue. It's so much of it that you would think you're just sitting there by yourself and not enjoy. Your partner or whoever you're next to when you're tailgating, your neighbor, I'll call them, your neighbor will just like, hey man, I have all this beer and I'm about to go in. Could you just like help me drink it before I go in? I literally have stories of me just walking around going, hey, the people look at me like, hey, what are you doing? I'm like, recording. You look like you need a beer. I'm like,
I've had the same story. You'll be sitting in the. Okay. I'm gonna keep this short here. The guy behind me had a 12-pack of beer. He obviously can't bring a 12-pack of beer in the Arrowhead.
Not without trying.
So I mean, so what is he doing? He's just, he's pounding one. Hey, just taps you on the shoulder. You want one? And seriously, yeah. If you go to Arrowhead, even if you go without alcohol, somebody's going to give you a beer.
Look, I recorded today. I didn't bring any beer. I guarantee I drank 7 beers before I left.
Yes. If you walk into Arrowhead, you walk into the parking lot, even if you don't have a beer, you can be like Big Chief Shawn and myself. You will have people hand you beer. It's phenomenal.
Yeah.
If you go at a night game, you will see smoke like just a giant fog. It's phenomenal. So definitely check his channel out. But yeah, it is crazy to think Watkins is only 28. He's been injured on and off for like a decade.
Well, Watkins is a very hard worker, and he gets hit very hard in the legs. And it does kind of weird sometimes to go back and think he's only 28. But he plays like he's a grown man. He plays like he's 30-something years old all the time. So
it's one thing if Watkins ever stayed healthy. I mean, he's a legitimate number 1 wide receiver.
No, 100%.
Definitely, and that was something I did like. I hated that the Chiefs let him go, but I understood why. I thought that was also a smart move for the Ravens, and that's why I have Buffalo is my number 1 team to worry about as a Chiefs fan, and then Baltimore is my number 2. That's how I see it.
Those are good picks.
This is a great question here, and Dustin's asking this to Funk, but I want to get your opinion too, Big Chief Shawn. Mm-hmm. Who will the Carolina Panthers take as their backup quarterback, P.J. Walker or Will Grier?
That's a very good question. I'm more likely thinking Grier, though.
Really?
Yeah. I know that's weird, but I think they're going to probably try to give him a little bit more opportunity. But then again, I don't know. It's still a battle between those two guys. I mean, but technically it's not. Either they're going to pick him or not, because tonight is the night. After next Tuesday, rosters are going to be made.
I think just the opposite. I like Walker. Don't forget Walker.
Well, yeah, Walker's good. And that's why I'm still kind of.
Was Matt Rule's quarterback at Temple.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, they have the college connection there, and I think that's going to go a long way. And Will wasn't a guy. Will Grier coming out of West Virginia, I actually thought was going to be a really, really good quarterback, and I think that he's just somebody who's going to have to go to a different place. But it is an interesting battle, and then Mike chimes in that the Finns are way underrated, and I'm not.
Well, you see, that's why I said the Dolphins. They're like you said, the Dolphins are very quiet. They could play it well if they do it right. They could play pretty well.
Oh, absolutely. They're my number 1 dark horse. That if they have things go right, they could be really, really dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Music City guy's right. Darnold had a bad situation there in New York.
It's the Jets, man. Even Le'Veon with his laziness did not really deserve to go to the Jets.
No, it was a bad situation, man. It was a really bad situation, man. And I'm trying to get caught up on the comments here. I'm sorry, I'm a little behind here, man. And then the Titans, hey, listen. The one thing I will point out to you, Music City guy, and I don't know if you had a chance to watch my video, so I'll spoil this. Every single running back that's run for 2,000 yards in a season, the next year always takes a significant dip. No running back has even run for 1,500 yards. The only one that came close was Barry Sanders, but almost the majority of them just.
You're forgetting about Terrell Davis.
Terrell Davis next year ran for 211. He ran for 2,000 yards, and then the next year he ran for 211. He got injured in the second game of the season.
Yeah, he was close to trying to run that back again. If it wasn't.
Yeah, he was close, but no running back that's run for 2,000 the next year.
Oh no, I've never heard of it.
No, the closest one was Barry Sanders, and I went in my video. I broke down every single running back who ran for 2,000 yards, what they did the following year. And off the top of my head, I think O.J. Simpson had like 1,000. Adrian Peterson had 1,100
or something like that.
Eric Dickerson had like 1,200. Terrell Davis had 211. Barry Sanders was the number one, and he had just under 1,500. So the problem. Now I will say this: your Darrington Evans is a guy I kind of had a man crush on. He needs to really step up this year.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and hopefully, Mike, you definitely don't want to see starters playing in week 3, and that's something that teams are doing. It looks like originally there was a lot of teams that wanted to play a lot of starters in week 3, but more and more teams are saying, "Hey, this is for depth. None of our starters are playing," and that's a smart move for teams. I think teams that are going to have starters playing week 3 are making a mistake. Just my opinion. What do you think, Shawn?
I think that's a smart move. I think what you're saying is solid. I think I'm just going to roll with that, man. Because when it comes to that kind of stuff, I think that the whole 2000 thing is already an achievement of itself. And to try to replicate that, I totally agree because, running backs don't have a long shelf life. So when you already run them so hard, it's really hard to repeat that, especially when they know you're going to try to do it again. And it's easier to stop a run accolade than it is a wide receiver accolade, If you got somebody like Henry or Barry Sanders, what do you just overload the line and make them throw, and then there goes their day,
Dustin, we didn't even touch base on the Denzel Perryman trade, and that's actually a win-win for both teams. But a lot of it has to do with the fact that your young players are really. That's an interesting thing that I'm going to watch it with Carolina's. Last year, you had like 4 rookies, and then you just kept on adding young players. There was a lot of youth and a lot of talent on that defense. So just be curious they can all come together. And it's also a good move. If I'm correct, didn't Perryman go to the Raiders? Who Gus Bradley, who was with the Chargers, is very familiar with Perryman, so it ends up being a really, really good move for the Raiders. Perryman probably will start week 1, even though he just arrived. So that was kind of a good move. I think it's a win-win for both. Music City guy says the Titans defense improved like we hope it does. Last year, me and Dan could have lined up. That defense last year just took such a nosedive. You're also big time on Bud Dupree. I have a man crush on Harold Landry, and then I can't remember his first name. Evans, your middle linebackers guy, I really liked. Your secondaries, And that the problem is that you're in the division where you got some really good, or I'm not in the division, you're in the conference. I got Tennessee winning the division, but I mean, when you get in the playoffs, you're going to have to go against either Mahomes or Josh Allen,
and that ain't going. You're not going to make it past that.
Not with that secondary.
And that's what I said about the Titans. They're very well coached. They are. Vrabel is not an idiot. It's
I'm very high on Vrabel.
He just doesn't have the roster to back up his intelligence. I mean, like y'all said, that defense, it's atrocious, man. Like they really do not. They don't know how to maintain a lead because the defense is so susceptible of getting beat.
They added. I mean, they need Bud Dupree to play like an absolute monster,
and he is too when he's hot. Bud Dupree is.
Yeah, keep in mind though. I mean, I'm kind of curious how he responds because he's going to in Pittsburgh. He was the number 2 guy to T.J. Watt,
of course,
and then. How's he going to respond? Because I love Harold Landry. He's one of my favorite players, but he's coming in expecting to be Batman. Where in Pittsburgh he was Robin. Some players can't do that. Some players got to be the number 2 guy. Can Bud Dupree be the number 1 guy? And
I think he can, just because the kind of guy Vrabel is, to put him in that position to where he will not force him to be, but he knows Bud can play. And it would be crazy not to let him do him. You know, he won't get in the way. I guarantee he's ready for it. I think he's ready.
I hope he does, because if so, Tennessee could be a really good team. Because when you have a weak secondary, the easiest way to fix your secondary is to have a really good pass rush.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what you want to do. And then Tremble, they got Tommy Tremble in the 3rd round. That was a really. I actually thought he would end up winning the starting spot, but they're going to use a lot of 11 personnel. So you had I gave you guys a C on the draft grade, and I'm probably doing. I need to change that. I made mistakes. And then Barnes do it again, and that's good that Ozarike's doing a good job. And then I became a big fan of Big Chief calling out real Jesus.
That movie is awesome. All the popcorn. Who doesn't? I want a laser full of popcorn. I want a laser room full of popcorn.
I haven't seen that movie in a very long time, man. I actually do want to see it. I'm going to get off track here. Do I know? If you weren't aware, these 2 guys, when Chevy Chase left Saturday Night Live, he came back to host. They actually got in a fist fight.
Yeah,
Murray and Chevy Chase. Yeah. They're okay, Mike. Actually, what I actually just saw this like on Howard Stern. Apparently now they're not the best of friends, but like they went golfing together. They kind of buried the hatchet.
Well, the thing about Bill Murray and Chevy Chase is, and excuse my French, they're both bad people. Because both of them always get into something with somebody when they're doing their work. Bill Murray literally has gotten to almost everybody he's worked with. And Chevy Chase is so hard to work with. All the people in that show community that he works with really call him an a-hole.
The show and everybody. It's actually funny on my TV. The show Community pops up, and they've done everything possible to delete Chevy Chase from the show.
That's what I mean.
Remember the Titans? Oh, geez, we are getting into movies today, man.
That is. Do I want to? No, I'm going to say that since we're talking about 80s references in movies, I'm surprised all you guys on the chat has said nothing about Wildcats. Okay, where
is many stars were in that movie?
1,000. Wesley Snipes was in that movie.
Woody Harrelson.
Goldie Hawn was in that movie. Woody Harrelson was in that movie. The movie, the theme song at the end alone is worth the watch.
Yeah.
Shiny things.
You know what
Football.
I remember, and I'm not going to I'm not going to insult anybody here for their preference of girls, but the one thing that stands out. Remember Wesley Snipes had that big old girl,
the big lady from that Jamie Foxx show. I did not see her being a cheerleader. She was a cheerleader in that movie.
Oh,
Okay.
I know. Listen, and by
A
the way,
cheerleader in that movie.
big girls.
Get out of here.
That's okay. That's okay. It's okay.
Everybody has a preference. When we're talking about like Wesley Snipes, like you're the star player of the team, and it's like you picked her. All right, whatever, man.
That's what I'm saying too.
Football. Wildcats. Football. Like I always love Goldie Hawn for her at the end of that movie. Just I get it. Football. Like I lose it every time she does that, and she laughs so hard because she's like, I got it. Football. I was like, no, man. Like why? It's hilarious to me. Oh my god.
Oh man. Yeah, we're doing 80s movies tonight on the Dan Show. I mean, we was on. Oh God. I mean, after I get done watching the show,
I'm not a fan, but
there's 4 movies that I'm going to check out. It looks like.
Bell, do you think he will sign? I think the Texans are looking for a running back.
All right, Big Chief Shawn, I got to warn you here. And by the way, Denver Gator, Alex hit me up. He's not going to be in tonight, but it's kind of a running joke where the Houston Texans are just going to have running backs and safeties, and that's it.
Well, that's what I mean. You got to put him somewhere. Le'Veon needs a job, y'all. I saw him on the corner saying, "We'll scrimmage for food." So,
what? Okay, let's talk about this. Why did Le'Veon go public and trash Andy Reid?
Because he's an idiot and he's a crybaby.
There you go. Why do you go ahead when you're unemployed, trash the one guy that like 70% of the NFL has worked with?
Right. Do you know how many coaches have gotten jobs because of Andy Reid? You know how many Super Bowl winning coaches have gotten jobs because of Andy Reid?
We talked Buffalo, Sean McDermott, Andy Reid. I got Baltimore as my number 2 team. John Harbaugh left the Eagles when he was with
when he was still a coordinator. He's definitely not getting a job at the Raiders because him and Gruden have been best friends for 20-something years. Because they used to work at the Packers together. You're not getting a job at the Eagles, the guy who basically left our team to go win a Super Bowl over there. So you're not getting a job there, you idiot. I just don't get it. That's the same equivalent as if you lived in small Italy and you watched The Godfather and you saw the head guy and his daughter's wedding and you smacked him and just hoped that everybody was fine with it. Like, no, now nobody's going to touch you with a 10-foot pole, you idiot. Like,
I don't get it. You just basically committed career suicide.
Basically.
That was just a dumb move.
That's like getting into acting, and the first thing you say after you're done with your first acting job is, Morgan Freeman can't act. And it's like, all right, that's fine. Nobody will work with him now. Like that, it was just so stupid when he did that. And then he thought a coach was going to go, that's bold. He said that about Reed. I gotta get him. I like somebody who's bold. Nobody likes nobody that's that bold. That's just being stupid.
When you can't back it up with your play, because the whole time in Kansas City he was banged up. He wasn't the same guy.
And the Hilaire was too busy embarrassing you, showing you how to run the ball. So
it was kind of a shame because I would have liked to see Bell near his peak, with that offense, but it just didn't work out. I got Slash here in the house. Welcome, brother, man. I'm glad you could make it. One Pride giving some love to Dustin here. What's the news on Farley? I liked him pre-draft because I thought he was going to the Broncos. What's his play and health like? That's actually a good question. From what I've gathered, he's going to play in preseason. I used our lads, and it looks like he's going to be the number 3 corner. And I mean, you got to. If you're not familiar with Caleb Farley's situation, he was a former receiver, switched defensive back. What was it? The iOS or anyway, they reported that he ran a 4.2 at 6'2", 210, but they also had defensive linemen running 4.6s. So I don't. But he is healthy, Denver Gator. I do know that, and if Music City guy's available, But from what I've gathered is that Vrabel's going to try to work him in slowly, but he's a guy that if they get to the playoffs, will need to play quite a bit. So, what's up, Pride? Enjoying the preseason. People say Bill and Chevy. Bill and Chevy. I've heard that more about Chevy. Nobody has anything nice to say about Chevy Chase. And then Bill Murray, a lot of people have said that he's not as much. At least that's what I've heard. But this game, I got multiple. And that's one thing that's kind of good about Detroit is that they got some good rookies. They're building something good. Wildcats, is that the first Woody and Wesley movie? I want to say it's the first Woody Harrelson movie. That's actually a great question. I don't think it's the first Wesley movie, but I'm almost positive it's the first Woody movie. I could be wrong about that.
It's the first movie where Woody and Wesley actually worked together. But the first Wesley movie, it was. Yeah, I think it is his first.
Is it? Well,
his first starring role was obviously New Jack City, where he was.
Oh God, that was such a good movie.
The lead he was the whole lead. The movie was about him.
Oh yeah,
but, yeah. Wesley.
That movie was Chris Rock's first movie.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
I love that movie, man. I love that movie, and then I think that was Woody Harrelson's first movie because he got his big break in Cheers.
Cheers.
And I could be wrong, but isn't his first big movie Natural Born Killers?
Yes, it was like his first starring role.
Yeah. Oh
yes.
God, I'm a big fan of Natural Born Killers.
That I love the hell out of that movie. I've watched that so many times.
Me too. I'll never forget that prison scene, man.
Which version? The regular version or the uncut?
The uncut version.
Yeah, because there's two. All y'all out there who's listening to this, watching this right now, there are two versions of that movie. There's a theatrical trailer, which the prison scene is pretty PC, and there's the uncut rated version where, let's just say, I'm not going to spoil anything for anybody who actually would decide to see it, but let's just say, who am I thinking of? Famous actor. Why can't I think of his name?
Tommy Lee. Are you talking Tommy?
Tommy Lee. Yes, where he didn't end up looking so great at the end of the riot.
No. You know the scene that I'll never forget is do you remember they put the there's two scenes. I think it was the same guy. Actually, I don't remember off the top of my head, but they had the sign. They put a snitch sign, and
yes,
they dumped somebody in the trash can on fire, like that.
Man,
don't be a snitch, folks. The Dan Show with Big Chief Shawn are giving you a life lesson here. Don't be a snitch. Yeah,
especially in prison when you have somebody like Mickey and Mallory running around with shotguns.
Oh yeah,
don't do that.
Do not be a snitch. So not only you get some great football knowledge, you get some great life lessons here.
And just to say, in that guy in the movie, the I forget his name. You know, the creepy guy that just came out of nowhere and helped Mickey and Mallory. You know what I'm talking? The creepy guy. He's just come follow me.
Are you talking about the reporter?
No, not the reporter. He was another inmate with them. He just came out of nowhere. Yeah. There's a scene where you know how they do those little transitional things for the movie. He's wearing like necklaces and jewelry around him, looking all very creepy when they do. Look at it again, dude. He's at the end of the film. He actually helped them, not to spoil anything. He was one of the guys that helped Mickey and Mallory during the riot.
I think I remember that part in it, and now I want to watch that movie because that's one of my all-time favorite movies.
Yeah, it's top 10 for me.
I love that movie though. I'll never understand why Miami got rid of Campbell for Gase. In all fairness, I'm drawing a blank on who they got rid of when they had Campbell replace him. But a lot of times when teams get into that situation, It's not a trial run. Raheem Morris for Atlanta was in the same situation. The coach for the Washington football team for Riviera. They just need somebody who's a veteran to come in and just get you through the year. Was it Joe? Okay, it was Joe Philbin. So anyway, they had Joe Philbin, and they just need to get rid of Philbin. So Campbell was never really a serious candidate to really win that job, even if he went 7-9. Look at a couple of years ago when the Cleveland Browns. Oh, great! I'm forgetting all the coaches' names. The coach who was fired after he went 0-16. I'm drawing a blank on the guy's name. Anyway, the replacement ended up leading the Browns to a winning record, but he wasn't a serious candidate. I drew a complete blank on all their names. So it's like forgot 4 coaches' names here, but that's okay. I forget names at times. I'm not good with names. This is why I always call every girl I hook up with baby. That's another life lesson. Call the girl baby.
At least you're not wrong.
Yeah, exactly. And then the players did love Dan Campbell. They did. He was never a serious candidate. People like Campbell because you see is what you get. He's a no frills kind of guy. You know, he's all about smash mouth in your face. Let's get style football, and that does fit the city of Detroit. Yeah, I think he could have a really good chance for success. And Lions fans, I keep telling you guys this, and this year's going to be a building block, but don't expect to be good this year. So
I will be honest to say that. I mean, but Detroit, you could, to me, and this is just me maybe being biased or not really. It's the way they treat their players. You know, they didn't treat Donald with. Oh, he's playing for them now, right? Donald.
Which player are you talking about?
I'm talking about the Lions, as in a general. I just think that their owners and GMs at their times don't really treat their players as well as they should. I mean, when you have somebody like Barry Sanders and Megatron, those careers fizzle out because some reason, it's to me, the Lions will always be that developmental build, but until they really start taking it seriously, they won't be that squad that I know they could be. You know what I mean?
I agree with you, and that's one of the things that the Lions fans are very excited about is that the new ownership, the new general manager, they brought John Dorsey.
Oh, so they have a new owner. I didn't know that.
Yeah. The Sheila, forgive me if I get the names wrong, but Sheila Ford stepped down and her daughter took over. She brought in Brad Hopkins from the Rams, and then she brought in John Dorsey to be the assistant general manager, which I thought was
you tell me John Dorsey, that makes me worry so much. That was Dorsey's only. I'll tell you like this: talent-wise, Dorsey can see talent through a brick wall, and he'll be like, "Oh,
fans, you've heard it. I've been saying this for a while. Now you're hearing it from another Chiefs fan. He can spot talent.
He can spot talent almost better. And when he was RGM, he was one of the responsible reasons why we got Kelsey. He saw him from Cincinnati. Nobody sees anybody from Cincinnati. Okay, and he was like, "This is this guy from Cincinnati." I'm like, "What? Cincinnati? That's not it's a cool college, but it's not top." Where did you find? He found Tyreek Hill. He found DeAndre Thompson. Dude from Oregon. I don't know why am I saying DeAnthony Thompson. Or
DeAnthony Thomas.
He can spot talent from a mile away. I wish he just wasn't a GM. If he was just a talent scout like he was back in the look at the Patriots. The reason why the Packers were so elite for the years they were because he just stacked it with talent. And when they kicked him off the team, they were still good because their talent is so stacked. His philosophy is correct, and you want to give yourself the best player available. And somehow he just knows which one that is.
I was really surprised Detroit was able to get him as the assistant general manager. And a lot of things that Detroit's doing reminds me a lot of things that Kansas City did in 2013 and building.
Exactly.
I'm telling you, listen, Lions fans, I've been saying this for months, and now you're hearing it from another Chiefs fan, is that Dorsey's really going to bring in some talent to your team. So
I'll say this, for all you Detroit fans that are out there right now, you're going to have the best draft you have ever seen. Like draft day, get your popcorn, sit back and relax. You're going to be like, who is that guy? And then next you know, he's going to be top tier.
You know, and you know what they did with the Jared Goff trade is that they have 2 number ones in the next 2 years. Yeah, I'm listen, Lions fans. I'm telling you this. Now you're hearing it from Big Chief Shawn. Your next 2 drafts, you don't want to miss your next 2 drafts. You're
going to be something to behold.
Really, really good players over there. Matter of fact, their draft this year, the only player I didn't know about was this 4th round linebacker from Purdue. And he's going to be a day 1 starter. He's the only one I didn't know. The rest of they drafted a running back in the 7th round. Oregon State actually really liked. And a Music City guy confirms that Farley's been getting some run. His play's been so to plan his, and by the way, that's really smart because Farley's a guy that's got a world of potential, but he's a former receiver, sat out with COVID last year. And he had back surgery in March, so you're smart bringing him along. If he's healthy for the playoffs, that's what you need him for. And then Denver Gator, I'm a big fan of MCDC. My high school football coach was very similar. We had a smart, tough team. We would have run through a wall for him. The Lions need that culture, Joel. You're 100% correct.
Yes. That is 100% true.
Actually, this is a great question. I apologize. We like kind of went on a rant, so I got behind on the comments. Dustin asked a great question. How's the receivers coming along without Galladay? That's actually something I do want to pay attention to. Amon-Ra St. Brown looks good, and Tyrell Williams does also. That's good to hear. That is some really good to hear. Robert Downey Jr. was – yes, he was. Yes, he was. He was awesome. God, that was such a good movie.
Yeah, it was.
I knew the Music City guy. If you weren't aware, Harley has been practicing, and I know he's been playing, but he's not going to be – he's not slated to start. I know that.
Yeah.
The offense will revolve around Hawkinson. I'll be honest with you, One Pride 40, the guy that I wanted Kansas City to draft instead of CEH was DeAndre Swift, and that's who it should revolve around. Having it revolve around a tight end who blocks and is not really a threat downfield, I don't know if I really like that all that much. Even though I love Hawkinson's game. Don't make me sound like I'm a Hawkinson hater, but when you have a big, powerful blocking tight end with good hands, he doesn't have the speed to stretch the field. That's not really who you want to build your team around. And let me see here. Dude's on fire on blitz has almost got a sack on Dobbs. And he's talking about this is a guy I'm actually not familiar with. And then I thought Carter actually won the starting job. So not trying to spoil a 25-year-old movie. That's nice. That's kind of cool. That's a great thing about this show. You never know what's going to happen. And yeah, okay. I'm sorry, Dustin. You're right. It was Cam Cameron. I thought it was Joe Philbin. I remember watching the Hard Knocks series with Joe Philbin, and just that was the one where Chad Johnson ended up losing his NFL career or ending his NFL career. I remember watching that and just thinking this team's going to be a disaster. And I think next year Philbin was gone. Yeah, I thought it was Philbin too. One Pride 40. Big Chief, you missed the whole pre-draft episodes. Dan over and over had Tannehill being. I kept on. All right, Big Chief.
Really? You had Tannehill's number one?
No, I kept on calling Trevor Lawrence Tannehill.
Oh.
This is why I call every girl I'm messing around with baby, because I'm bad with names. And that's a good life lesson, folks. It was Cameron because I remember how
ecstatic how that team was.
And then Funk, I was thinking the same about spoilers, but I know One Pride 40 is a young kid, so maybe he hasn't seen Natural Born Killers. One Pride 40, because I know you're a younger guy. If you haven't seen Natural Born Killers,
go see it.
See, and
it changes your life.
Watch the what was it, the unrated version? Or
yes,
watch the unrated version, and you will learn, if nothing else, never be a snitch in prison. So
and what else? Never let a guy touch you with tweezers with his nose, or never let a guy touch his nose with tweezers.
That's right. Yeah, you'll learn that from Tommy Lee Jones. Brad, yes, I mean Holmes. Another name mistake. I apologize for 540, but I'm bad with names.
But at least they're honest mistakes.
They're honest mistakes.
Yeah.
The Lions did treat players wrong, but Sheila Hamp is the daughter of Martha. Yeah, and that's the thing that I'm adamant about, is that the foundation is.
Well, see, yeah, and I did not know about the new league change, because that was the problem with the Lions. They would always like, why do you find these superstars and don't use them? Like Megatron should have been. He's still Hall of Fame worthy with his numbers. Even with the line, he could still go to the Hall of Fame. Like, that's ridiculous. Like, when you have two guys and you put them on decade-long contracts, and when they finally come to you and say, "Man, I just want to leave to win," they didn't even care about the money. They wanted to leave just to win. They told them no, and to me, that was like, you don't care about your player. Your player, like with the whole thing with Aaron Rodgers, for example. You better believe the Packers understand, yes, you belong to us. You ain't got no rights here. We have all the leverage. But then, Ryder still said, I'm going to pick where I go. Got it? They said yes. You didn't hear them argue that, because they respect. You have to respect your stars, or everybody else on your team is not going to respect the franchise. And now y'all telling me there's a brand new lead to it. I hope nothing but the best for the Lions, to be honest with you.
The foundation that the Lions are building is amazing.
I hope they know, and I don't mean this in a negative sense. I hope they burnt that whole thing to the ground and building it, just like what the Chiefs did. That 2-14 woke up Clark Hunt. He had to burn that place to the ground. It's like, you know what? The GM sucks. The coach sucks. The staff sucks. I'm just going to fire everybody. I'm starting over. Look at us now. We are a top tier team
in Kansas City, and I said this many times. What has happened? What happened in Kansas City between 2012 and 2013?
The dark ages, we like to call it.
To what we're seeing with Detroit now. The difference is, I don't expect Detroit to go 11-5 and make the playoffs, but the foundation is being built really, really, really well.
Because you have to think about it. You know my channel. You know what I do on my channel, right? You know what I do for my channel, the tailgating and stuff, right?
Yeah.
The 2012-2000 season, we like to call the dark ages, man. Because when you were out there and you tailgated, you saw more Chiefs fans sick, wearing paper bags over their heads, and with a look on their face of, why are we even here?
I was there.
Oh, you're a fan. You get it.
I get it. I'll never forget this. It was a game against the Dolphins.
I was there for that game.
Oh, God. It was.
We lost like 42-7.
It was, I remember the game not being that bad, but it was like 20 degrees with like a 25. And here's a little secret for those of you that have teams in outdoor stadiums. When it gets cold, I can handle the cold, but when it's cold and windy, it doesn't matter what you do. We said it. Now I don't know where your seats are. Ours are upper level, so that wind just cut right through us. And the Chiefs lose, and it was. I just remember that it was like just bitter, freezing cold. It was.
It does make it the worst that the team was bad.
Oh God, that team was so bad.
And it was just like, what are we doing? Like, and that's how I feel like with some Lions fans. I bet you that's how they feel. Like, what the hell are we doing?
They felt that way for a long time.
Yeah.
They're super optimistic right now.
I'm happy to hear that.
Hey, listen, and I keep saying this. The optimism is earned, and it should be there.
Yeah.
But don't expect.
Oh no, this isn't Remember the Titans.
Don't expect playoffs this year.
No,
like that. But
you still are in a pretty okay division.
Right, the future is so bright.
Yeah, they're still in a pretty good division. So don't expect magic. Just expect improvement. And I'm happy to hear that for Lions fans.
I am too. And Mike, you are 100% correct. I'll never forget that Hard Knocks series with Joe Philbin. And there's only about, I think the worst coach ever was Dave Campo, who got fired after the year. I remember him singing karaoke in training camp, and I'm thinking, he's singing
got time
karaoke.
To do this, but not
you had Bill Parcells, and he left. You bring in a guy who wants to sing karaoke. That was the worst coach I've ever seen. I think Joe Philbin may have been the second worst. Carl, who's one of my new subscribers, man, I'm really glad you joined the show. John Schneider, the best GM. I'm going to argue that because he's had some really bad drafts. And I thought it was smart that what they did was give up 2 first-round picks for Jamal Adams, because the 2 first-round picks, or I think, you got 2 first-round picks, or no, it was a first and a second for Frank Clark. You whiffed on both of those. And you've had some really, really questionable drafts. So I don't know if I could call him the best, but I will say this. The last 8 years since Russell Wilson's been starting quarterback, and I said this on my video, they haven't had a losing record. 7 out of 8 of those years, double-digit wins, and then 1 9-7 season. He's one of the better ones. I don't think he's the best, but you have a really good situation there in Seattle.
Yeah, you do. I'm happy.
And, Funk, I feel like Parker was a Dorsey find. I think he was too, because he was a guy. I'm not the biggest draft expert, but I didn't know who he was. So. Dustin asked the Lions fans, you worried about Sewell whiffing on blocks? I tried warning people Sewell wasn't a finished product. So. And then I apologize. I got behind on comments here. Not really. He's learning a new position. How do you feel about Dwayne Eskridge and Russ this year? Well, ideally, Eskridge just returns punts and kicks. And then I have kind of 1 and 2 with Russell Wilson and Kyler Murray being my MVPs. If Kyler Murray gets 4,000 passing yards and 1,000 rushing yards, he's going to win MVP. If he doesn't hit that plateau, probably Russell Wilson will win MVP. And part of that is that their defense isn't that good, so he's going to put up a lot of numbers. And Eskridge will be a special teams ace. I don't know how much he's going to contribute on offense. And let me see here. Then what about Reynolds? I'm drawing a blank on Reynolds. Elephant ears or funnel cakes?
Funnel cakes.
I like funnel cakes here. Luke said, "Hold my beer." I don't know those damn chocolate Buckeyes. When I travel to Cincinnati, damn, I eat my wheat and gold and those things. Funnel cakes for toppings for the win. Slasher is back. Needed some coffee. I understand completely. Megatron has said they never talked about trading him. Sheila has tried to make it right with Calvin, but he's holding a grudge with people that aren't involved with the team. And there's some bad blood. I think it'll get fixed eventually, Funk, and it should. It should. Remember some issues with Barry Sanders and the Lions, and then that all got resolved too.
Yeah.
Link for the Big Chief not working on my end. Tell me how to find him. Hey, Denver Gator, look, do me a favor. Since me and you follow it after the show, I'll send you his link on Twitter.
But if anybody on here, and because there is a thing about that when people ask me where I look for you, if you go to YouTube and you hit up Big Chief Shawn, But after that, put football, because there is two Big Chiefs. There's a group of YouTubers that are Big Chief and Shawn. You dig? They're like my name, but they both use a part of like mine. One name is Big, one is the Big Chief, and the other guy is Shawn. So when you look it up, you're gonna put football after that. I'm the first thing that comes up.
But Denver Gator and I usually communicate on Twitter.
Well, I was just saying not just for him. I was saying anybody who actually just wants to look it up. I found that if you do Big Chief Shawn and then do football, that actually is the first thing that comes up. So
and also thanks for letting me know I messed up. So here I was telling Big Chief Shawn I'm going to put the link here, and I put a bad link, so that bad on my part. But after the show tonight, I'll send you a link to his Twitter, Denver Gator, because definitely all three of us need to stay in touch.
Hell yeah.
And I'm hoping that I can get Big Chief Shawn to come back on.
I will definitely come back on.
By the way, you know what? I should have said this right away. Here's the drill. I know I'm being purposely obscure, but I got some really great stuff. Not next week, the week after, right before the Thursday night football game. Week 2, I'm going to come back on Wednesdays and Friday, and I'm going to play around week 2 with a 30-minute Monday Night Football pregame show. If you want to come on. We'll talk basically just 30 minutes rapid fire, and then a full show on Wednesday and a full show on Friday.
Awesome.
So yeah, it's some good stuff, and I know I'm being obscure, but the guys will get it. I have some really great stuff coming up in about 9 days. It's going to be great. Funk puts in plus how they treated Stafford. They shipped him out upon request and sent him somewhere he wanted to go. Huge difference.
Well, that was kind of different because they were getting something out of that. The reason why it was so quick is, and Stafford been on the team for so many years, and you could just tell him and the franchise just wasn't happy with each other. It was just, hey man, I'm trying to leave, and they obviously have paid attention to their past or how they treated this situation. They saw Stafford was ready to go. He wasn't going to play well for them. It was basically like he was sabotaging himself to go, either you get rid of me or you cut me. Well, because every other superstar they come out with, they either cut them or they retire, or that's pretty much it, Well, with the staff.
Yeah, I mean, you're 100% right, and I think this is the big difference between how the Lions have handled business in the past and how they're handling business in the future.
Exactly.
And I have to admit this, is that I was public being on the show saying that the Lions are only going to get a second-round pick, and One Pride 40 said that, no, we're going to get a first and more, and One Pride 40 was right. Hey, and on my show, if I'm wrong, I say I'm wrong. I thought you would be lucky to get a second. You got a lot more than a second, and that was a really good move and shows some really good moves.
That just shows you right there that they're going in the right direction because they got what they got for him because they sold him correctly. They were like, exactly. Stafford is still a good quarterback. We made the mistake. He needs to be somewhere where he could play. But and look at him now. From what I'm hearing right now, he's playing well.
It'll be interesting. I just released my video breaking down the Rams just earlier today, and they're a team that while I'm not betting on them, I think that they're about 10-11 win team. I never got a chance to see Ed Podolak. I moved here. This is I'm showing my age a little bit, but I'm definitely not old enough to remember Ed Podolak. I moved to Kansas City from Baltimore about 2 to 3 weeks after the Baltimore Colts left town for Indianapolis. And I just found this out a few years ago, is that we had chances to move different places. My dad chose Kansas City because he wanted to take me to football games, and that was a big reason why we chose Kansas City over some different locations. Never got to see Ed Podolak play. However, I will watch clips of the longest NFL game of all time is Christmas Day, 1972, Chiefs-Dolphins. Kind of kickstarts the Dolphins streak where they win. They went to 3 Super Bowls. They lost Super Bowl 6, and then they went undefeated, won Super Bowl 7, and then they won Super Bowl 8. And so when the Chiefs the Dolphins knocked out the Chiefs, Ed Podolak had, I think, 349 total yards that game. That game kind of ended the Chiefs being a powerhouse. The Chiefs won
for a while.
And then if I remember right, from like 1970 to 1985, the Chiefs didn't even sniff the playoffs. I don't even know if they had a winning record.
No, we didn't.
It was terrible. Calvin said they never talked about trading him, and the story for retiring changes every time. I think eventually he'll get settled out. I mean, no offense, he wasn't exactly going anywhere on that team. It's like the Julio thing, but Atlanta let him out. And Atlanta also got something in return.
Yeah, they got a real good deal for him.
And then 2 firsts and a third.
Yeah.
And this, by the way, Carl, I thought this was a brilliant move. And part of it is because they've whiffed on draft picks. I mean, if you're going to mess up your draft picks, get rid of them.
Yeah.
And the Jets, by the way, I feel bad for them. Their defense is predicated on that defensive line, and both their defensive ends are going to miss the whole season.
That's just the Jets being the Jets.
That is the Jets. Yeah, I felt really bad because that was like the number one thing I liked about the Jets going into the seasons. Man, that defensive line is good. You got 2 perfect defensive ends to play that defense, and both of them are not going to play in 2021. Vinny Curry, if you didn't hear, his career is probably over. It's a weird blood disorder. But you're right. It's like the Jets being the Jets. Like right before the season starts, a player gets a weird blood disorder. It's strange.
Yeah.
I'm going to leave that alone. One Pride 40. When you look at how much money Calvin and Stafford are making at the same time, there's no way the Lions could build a roster. That's part of the reason they couldn't afford Sue. 100% correct, Funk, and that's kind of the biggest thing that you're going to see with the new regime is how they handle it. But that's also the one thing that.
But see, I get that, and I get having them at the same time, and that did mess with the budget a little bit. But like you were more likely, and I interrupt you. Excuse me. And,
No.
You know, and more likely, like we've been talking about, the problem is ownership and GM. You have to be able to make it work. And they didn't know how to make it work. That's why, for instance, right now, look at our squad, the Chiefs. We have Kelsey, we have Hill, we have Mahomes, and because we worked it out. And they understand when you have something that good or when you can build off something that good, they should have been able to talk to them about a restructure, what we're going to do, how we're going to build this. But back then, they didn't really care about that. So he's just like, just pay Stafford, pay him, and just do whatever.
Matter of fact, earlier today you're wearing your Chris Jones jersey, and when they brought in Frank Clark, they gave him $100 million, and then I thought Chris Jones was going to leave. The Chiefs found a way to make Chris Jones
make it work. Exactly. That's why Veach is the best GM in football right now.
And then me and Big Chief Shawn both agree that even though there's a lot of things to like about Dorsey, there were some financial decisions that he made that really put the Chiefs in some tough
Dorsey likes to pay them, and there's nothing wrong with paying them, but you overpay. For instance, I love Justin Houston, 100%, right? And he did that year where he got us with 22 sacks in a season. It was amazing. But you paid him $101 million for a product of somebody who's only was going to get us like maybe 8 sacks a season. You see how financially that didn't make sense? We threw that money. He paid Matt Castle $65 million.
I remember he gave Eric Berry a ton of money, and then
he got injured, and then we couldn't even restructure because he was getting paid too much.
No, and that was a damn shame too, because it was funny because he said, "Hey, look, Justin, you're going to play it. Instead of signing you to a long-term deal, we're not going to pay you this year, but if you play well, we'll pay you next year." And what does he do? He goes out and gets 22 sacks.
Exactly. But then right after that, They should have requested. They should have worked that contract with him to where, let's give you this $101 million. Let's throw some incentives on it.
If they just would have gave him the year before, they literally could have paid him 50 or 60 million, and he would have been happy because that's what he was wanting.
Because he would have still been on the team, and he would have been productive. He would have. It's just a problem with Dorsey knows his talent. Dorsey knows that, hey, you have to pay said talent. But then when you ask him how much we pay him, then he literally listens to the players. The first thing they say, I want 80 million. Well, that's fine, 80 million. Dude, think about future. We're thinking about the future. This is why when we threw 500 million at Mahomes, we talked to him and let him know, bro, there's some future stuff we're gonna have to start with. You're gonna have to start getting paid this much. So then when you're getting your money, not only that you keep your team. And look at us now. That's why we've been able to keep the roster. That's why we still have the best tight end in football. Because when you have great leadership, the leadership, say what you want. But Belichick, whoever's our GM, more likely Belichick, knew how to maintain the money correctly. That's why they were successful for 20 straight seasons. Leadership matters. When you got somebody to step up to the ball and go, okay, let's work out money so we can do this. And let's work. That's why the Rams busted so hard, because they picked up Ramsey, and they picked up Marcus, and they picked up Sue, and they picked up Donald, and they picked him up, and they picked up my mom, and they picked up Morgan Freeman, and you picked up all the star power, and you didn't think about future, and then they busted, and then you paid Donald what he deserves, and now they're starting to get it right. Now they're starting to go, okay, let's get this guy, but let's make sure we think about future.
Well, the one thing about the Rams is that when I did my video, I didn't touch base too much on it, but next year, the Rams currently have $225 million in contracts going out today, right now.
See that? Now
for 2022, they're already 20 million over the cap.
Yeah. Because they were like, hey, we can afford that guy. Let's get him. And hey, we can get that guy. Let's afford him. And they just start throwing money, not thinking about future, not thinking about, hey, if this doesn't work out, what are we going to do?
Exactly. And One Pride 40 asked, did I get my oil changed before my drug test? And hey, listen, look, we're going on a little over 2 hours. I know Big Chief Shawn wants to watch the game. I'm excited to watch the game too. So we're going to wrap this up in the next couple minutes. I apologize. I didn't have a chance. I'm going to go through and try to get all the comments here before we wrap up in the next couple minutes. Slasher says Jalen Hurts, the dark horse for MVP.
I can see that.
Eagles fan. I was disappointed because the preseason game, I wanted to watch him. He had that stomach virus, and they brought out a Flacco, and it's like, I don't need to look at Flacco. I wanted to watch Hurts. One Pride 40 tells me. I'm kind of surprised about this because I actually liked him in preseason so far, but if he's not doing it in preseason, so he lost the job.
See, that's why I like the other guy.
He was doing good for a while, and then so we got Lions, Chiefs, Pats, Texans, Chargers, Raiders, Seahawks, Falcons, Cards, Bucks, Panthers, Dolphins, Raiders fans on this channel. You know what? Alex hit me up on Twitter. He is not here, but he had some stuff about the Houston Texans, and he said he's going to be in next week. He's dying to talk about it. He's super excited about the Houston Texans. This is on my bucket list because I love Oreos and I love food.
No, I've never tried a deep fried Oreo.
I'm going to try one. You know what, Big Chief Shawn, me and you need to try this out, man. We need to get together in person.
We can make a video of it, my man.
We should make a video of it.
Yes, we should make a video of it just to let people know we just did it.
I want to do a fried Twinkie. I also want to do a fried
Twinkie. Never had one of those either.
Me neither.
That's what we should do, man. Just have an episode on my channel where we just sit a whole bunch of fried foods in front of us and just eat them all. Just, hey, everybody, I want a deep fried Twizzler. I don't care. Put it on the table.
We need to do that, man. We need to make it happen.
I'm going to make that a thing. I'm holding you to that now.
Hey, we do need to do that.
Fried
I've
butter?
never had
Jesus
fried
Christ.
butter though. I've never had fried butter.
Once you
I
try,
got
it
my
clogs
wife now.
arteries. Look, I'm down. See, look, throw that on there. Screw it. Fried butter. Let's go.
We'll do it. You know, we need to have a fried show. We'll do the Oreo. I've been wanting to do a Twinkie. I will. You know what? Just for the show, I will do fried butter. I'll have a heart attack.
Y'all are a great fan base. Y'all making this man about to try fried butter with me. This is going to be insane.
Let's see here. 2 first and a third plus a. Yeah, the trade that you got for Stafford was amazing.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I hope the best for Lions fans. You finally get leadership that gives a damn, and it's going to turn around. You know,
Listen, you know, Big Chief Shawn. When I went on Luke's show, I had a bunch of guys from the Detroit just joined the show, and they've just been absolutely fantastic. I've now kind of like, I'm not calling them my second favorite team, but I am pulling for the Lions this year.
I'm definitely pulling for the Lions this year.
Okay, there's not a slasher to answer this question. There's not hype. He was just traded from Baltimore to New England because he wasn't going to make the team in Baltimore. So the Patriots took him because they got some injuries in their secondary. There's really not hype. It's just that he's there. Deep fried Oreos are amazing. I've been wanting to do a deep fried Twinkie.
See, they're daring us, man. They're daring us.
They are.
In Texas, they fry everything. See, y'all. Okay, y'all in trouble. We're gonna do it.
You were at this game, Mike, because if I remember correctly, this was at Old Municipal Stadium in Kansas City.
That's a
game before Arrowhead.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, no, I didn't know that, Mike. Damn.
Yeah, Mike, old school in the house.
Oh yeah, Mike's old school. Mike is Mike turned me on to I don't know if you follow college football or not, but Mike turned me on to Coastal Carolina early and ended up making money. I bet on them against BYU. So I'm super glad to have Mike in here. Mike's going to make some money this year. Bet.
Yes, fried twist.
Jeez, now I'm starting to get hungry, guys.
See, look. And then they're telling us corn dogs. We're gonna fry corn dog. Let's go, man. I don't care. My arteries be damned.
We got it. Texas is wild with food here. Louisiana. I've squirrel gumbo. You know what? I'm gonna tell you something. I would eat squirrel gumbo.
I would definitely eat squirrel gumbo.
I would do it. One Pride 40 says hell no. I ain't defending Willie. Yeah, but you guys are on the right place now. The only place to get a real po' boy is in Louisiana.
That is 100% accurate. That is 100% accurate.
I think I've driven. I want to say I've driven through Louisiana, but I don't know. I do know for a fact I've never been to New Orleans.
I have not been to New Orleans either.
I've driven through Florida several times, Mike. I'm
telling you, Dan, me and you, Mardi Gras, eating fried everything that they throw at us.
We're gonna video it. We're gonna video it, but we actually need to get together and apparently eat all these fried foods.
Yeah. I think people would dig it. They're like, oh my God, are they about to eat a fried Twinkie? What's wrong with them? Didn't they just eat a fried Oreo?
We can do it.
We can definitely do it.
Funk's putting in that Dorsey is not in charge of money.
Oh, thank goodness.
Yes, and that's something that was really big because there was some. That was the complaint. Dorsey can find talent, but he whiffed on some contracts.
Once again, I repeat, he gave Matt Castle $65 million. If you just you can Google Matt Castle. I'm telling you, he was there of the dark ages we were talking about. He was our quarterback. Okay, he had one good season with the Patriots because he was a part of a system, and he came here. He was like, "Oh, he gave him 10 wins. Here's $65 million." Oh, do you know how much money he made after our team?
Oh, dude, he if I remember right, he signed a $60 million deal, and then he had another extension for another $65 million. And by the way, Big Chief Shawn, hey Dustin, we're going to hold you to this.
What?
I don't even know what that is, and I'm going to eat it.
What is a Wagyu basket? Let's go, man.
Dude, why are we not doing? No, I'm getting hungry now, man.
Yeah, man. I'm starving now. Y'all got me hungry.
I am hungry.
I'm gonna have
and then
dreams of sugar plums and fried Oreos in my head tonight. Thanks a lot, guys.
I'm not wanting to eat some fried food here, and then Dustin's going to eat some gummy bears here. Dustin's out. I got Jalen Hurts, and then
deep fried Kit Kats. Yeah, keep it up, y'all. Y'all think we're not gonna eat this stuff?
Dude, I'm really down, man. I am down to eat.
I will eat all that.
I've been wanting to do a Twinkie for a long time. I'm down for an Oreo, but just for the show, I'll even do some butter. And
look at that. All right, I'm finding the packy chips too. Screw this.
Dude, man, you know what? Hey, look.
Deep fried Kit Kats.
We going to. You guys think that we're not going to do it? We're going to get together.
We're going to do it. Oh,
we're going to have
you have little faith.
Sure. When we met, you know what we did? We ate barbecue.
That's right.
You know, this is actually, I don't know if you remember this or not, but it was kind of freaky. So we were eating barbecue, and I think we finished, and we're all just hanging out talking. And then there's this giant rat that runs into the barbecue place. You remember that?
Yes, I do, man.
Yeah. So yeah.
I'm just glad they didn't deep fry that, man.
We're not going to mention the name of the barbecue place, but bottom line, here's the key. Me and Shawn, we're not scared.
Not scared at all.
Not scared. No fear.
Keep on going. Y'all just keep doing that deep fried stuff like we're going to run from it.
We can do just get them foods for a live show. Deep fried foods and football.
Yeah, we definitely will do that.
I'm down for this, man.
He'll help you save. He'll help you make money, and then I'll help y'all show you how to eat a deep fried Kit Kat. I don't give a damn. I don't.
I'm down to eat all this stuff here. James says now wouldn't be a good time. No, I have no interest in visiting. I have an interest in visiting Vegas, not California. And then One Pride 40 is going to sell his bathwater off his OnlyFans. By the way, One Pride 40 OnlyFans is back on. It is still selling explicit content. So
yeah, even if the ban was going to be a thing, they said that ban was going to be in October.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. So the ban is off now. So you're good to go. And One Pride 40, I'm still expecting my jersey. So One Pride 40 does a little minor league football, and I'm waiting for my jersey.
Hey, man, cough up the jersey for 40. Cough up the jersey, man. We're already about to hear you 5 Oreos and Kit Kats for y'all. But at least you can do is get the man a jersey. Damn it.
All right. Hey, listen, we're going to wrap this up, man. Hey, listen, before you guys go, for everybody that's still here, don't forget, give us a thumbs up. I apologize for getting the wrong link down. After I end the show, I'm going to do some adjustments. I'll put the correct link in the chat. That way you can all check out his channel. If you haven't yet, subscribe to Big Chief Shawn's channel. Give me a thumbs up. Hey, guys, enjoy your week, and I'll be back next Friday.